More West Nile concerns in Arlington and other parts of Middlesex County. Health officials have recently put our town at high risk for the mosquito-borne illness.
A couple walking their dog struck by a falling tree branch at an Arlington park. We'll tell you how they are doing tonight.
Just days ago, nearly 24 residents in an Arlington Heights complex had their Verizon services cut off for nearly 2 weeks. Has the trouble subsided?
And we'll introduce you to Arlington's new Chief Information Officer. She has quite the IT background. All this and more as ACMi News starts right now.
From McLennan Park to Spy Pond, from Poets Corner to the Mystic River, we have Arlington covered. We're your neighbors, a friend you can turn to. This is ACMi News.
Hello, I'm James Milan.
And I'm Katie Chang. Just last week, ACMi News told you that at least 2 area residents have contracted the West Nile virus in recent weeks.
Now this week, Arlington and other parts of Middlesex County are considered at high risk for the mosquito-borne illness. This, according to Public Health Director Natasha Whedon. Earlier this week, Whedon offered the community safety tips to prevent mosquito bites and avoid mosquito-borne diseases. The State Department of Public Health, or DPH, has also increased risk levels from moderate to high in parts of Essex, Norfolk, and Suffolk counties. The DPH says there have been 4 human cases of the virus in the state and 1 case in an animal this year, all in Middlesex County. People over the age of 50 are at higher risk for severe infection, like contracting the flu. Arlington police are warning residents about a telephone scam in which a caller spoofed the APD phone number. Spoofing is when a caller deliberately falsifies caller ID information to hide their identity. Recently, an Arlington resident received a phone call from someone claiming he was an officer from the Arlington PD. The caller apparently told the resident that their Social Security number was being used to open false accounts. Chief Flaherty claims he then demanded $8,000 in restitution from the resident or stated that an arrest warrant would be filed. That resident then notified the real Arlington police to report the bogus call. This week, I spoke to Captain Richard Flynn, who says real police don't pull stunts like that.
Law enforcement agencies and government agencies, they're never going to call you over the phone demanding money, and absolutely they're not going to call demanding gift cards and you giving them the numbers and the passcodes on those. So it's again another scam that is is just, we've talked about this before, James. There's just a group of people out there, I could even call like a small population, that spend their day thinking of ways to try and steal money from people. And unfortunately, they typically will aim their efforts at those who are kind of most understanding and most caring and giving, usually the elderly who are trusting, and they get them, and they just keep calling and keep calling and keep calling until they get a hook into somebody. And if somebody starts to actually, oh, who's this again? And they just keep feeding on it. And they're creative in how they do it. That's all they do all day long.
Anyone who has questions or feels as if they may have fallen victim to a scam like this is encouraged to call the Arlington Police Department at 781-643-1212.
Crystal Haynes from the Human Rights Commission will be hosting a webinar September 23rd called A Conversation on the Intersection of Guns and Hate. What is the situation in Arlington, and how can we work together to prevent gun violence? Join the conversation on Thursday, September 23rd at 7 p.m. After registering, you will receive a confirmation email containing information about how to join the webinar. 2 people were struck by a falling tree in Arlington Park on the 10th of this month. According to police, emergency crews responded to reports of a fallen tree at Menotomy Rocks Park on Jason Street just after 8 a.m. When crews arrived, they learned that a man and a woman, both 58 years of age, were walking their dogs when a tree branch hit the woman in the face before striking the man in the head. The man fell unconscious for a few minutes, according to emergency crews. ACMi News was told one of the 2 was hospitalized, the other refused transportation. Both suffered non-life-threatening injuries.
Just days ago, nearly 24 residents in an Arlington Heights complex had their Verizon services cut for nearly 2 weeks. The Drake Village complex is owned and managed by the Arlington Housing Authority, which provides rental housing to low-income, elderly, and disabled residents. For several days, The Verizon lines wouldn't even allow for emergency calls like 911. The Verizon front door intercom entry system to the Hauser building was also knocked offline. That system is used for delivery services like food and medication. We're told that was restored nearly a week later. Town Manager Adam Chapdelaine updated residents on the proposed American Rescue Plan Act, or ARPA, and mentioned in the September 9th briefing that in upcoming weeks, town officials will be working on improving broadband to low-income housing.
We don't have a current proposal for such investment, though just this week, I believe your Arlington covered the need for connectivity in some of the Arlington Housing Authority buildings, or improving that connectivity. So I'm eager to start engaging with community partners and learning more about how we can put low-income broadband support money to work to try to connect as many residents as possible to broadband and the services that they need.
Verizon blames old copper wiring for this shutdown and says they must upgrade the system with fiber optic cables. Meantime, several residents talked to ACMi News off camera this week and said problems still persist. ACMi News will be following this story as events warrant.
Earlier this week, Americans marked our other day of infamy. On September the 11th, 2001, everything changed. Nearly 3,000 people were killed when 19 hijackers boarded 4 commercial airliners and turned them into weapons. You'll recall that 2 airliners took off from Logan Airport that horrific Tuesday morning. ACMi News Director Jeff Borne talked to some Arlingtonians as they reflect back to that Tuesday morning.
It was very, very bad, and so bad that I didn't know what was going to happen. Everybody was nervous, and quite frankly, I don't think we've fully recovered from that.
And it's just very sad and very, I don't feel like any of the wars that we fought really addressed what happened that day.
Well, first of all, anybody who's ever played Risk knows that you can't win a land war in Asia. So landing troops in Asia was a bad idea, and especially in Afghanistan was a monumentally bad idea. If I were king on September 12th, I would have gone after the Saudis. The people who attacked us were from Saudi Arabia. It was the ideology of the Wahhabis that bred them and born them. And the fact that the Bush administration protected the Saudis and actually let them leave this country after we had 3,000 people killed on airplanes, I think was a travesty.
The 2 commercial airliners that took off from Logan struck the Twin Towers in New York City. The other planes crashed in Washington, D.C. and Shanksville, Pennsylvania.
It's now official. Arlington has a new Chief Information Officer. Town Manager Adam Chapdelaine appointed Patricia Shepard to the position this week. Ms. Shepard actually began her appointment last month. The Chief Information Officer provides leadership and vision to town and school operations in the area of information technology. Ms. Shepard says she looks forward to building upon the existing technology to continue providing a wide range of services for the town and district.
Arlington residents are rallying together to support a local business following a tragic fire. Although there were no injuries, there was major damage to the building last month. This month, area residents are doing all they can to get the business thriving.
Now these boarded up windows are covering thousands of dollars worth of damage and a devastating psychic blow to the owners following an early morning fire that happened at Thrive Juice Cafe last month.
Just complete shock. Never really expect it to happen to you.
Arlington firefighters arrived quickly to extinguish the flames that were ignited by cleaning rags left to dry overnight. The massive $50,000 worth of damage caused the establishment to close temporarily. A month later, business owner Derek Fleming is left picking up the pieces.
It's something I've never experienced before, for sure. And my wife as well has never been through a fire, and to be quite honest, we've never even personally knew someone that's experienced fire loss. So just a shock all around, didn't really know what to expect driving here, and that was quite nerve-wracking as well.
Examining the damage left behind, Fleming was in shock but relieved that no one was inside at the time.
It's easy to say, oh, I wish I had been there because I could have put it out right away, but it's also easy to say thank goodness nobody was there.
The owner is now focusing on the recovery process, which would not have been possible without the support of the community.
The verbal support's been what's really like getting me out of bed every morning to just like make sure that I'm always like moving the ball forward on our recovery to try to get back as soon as we can.
Word spread quickly of the devastation, and the community has been rallying together to support the local business with a GoFundMe page. The company now has been overwhelmed with donations.
We have like 500 and some odd shares, so the community wants to spread the message too, which is almost as important or just as important as actually donating, is spreading the message that there's a small business here that the community cares about, that wants help, needs help.
Having experienced the ups and downs of owning a small business, Derek hopes to use the money to rebuild and renew Thrive Juice Cafe. In the meantime, the health food restaurant has been busy providing food service to people in the area. They even partnered with Arlington Eats to give out food that otherwise would have gone to waste. Fleming is glad to be able to give back to the community even as they reach out to support him. He recognizes how Arlington is built around small businesses.
All the shops that you see like on our block, these are all small businesses. There's no chains around here. Like you can look everywhere and you don't see any chains. It's all independent owned businesses. So I know that the people of Arlington really support small businesses. Otherwise this would look very different. But it's hard to run a small business and stay on top of every little thing. So be patient if you're looking to run a small business, if you're looking to own a business, and rely on your community because they're going to be your strongest backers.
Now, Derek hopes to reopen the cafe by next month. And so far, the GoFundMe has already raised over $25,000. And if you would like to make a donation of your own, you can head over to their Facebook page at Thrive Juice Cafe. Reporting for ACMi News, I'm Alexandria Acacia.
And now, here's the first Ponderscope of the fall season from ACMi's Studio B, now up and running at Arlington High School. Here's Jasper Zellmer with the latest.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Ponderscope. We hope you all had a great start to your school year. We are so glad to be back, providing you with important weekly updates. If you are interested in helping out with the Ponderscope in any way for community service hours, please reach out to Kevin Wetmore at kevin@acmi.tv. COVID testing is now available to all AHS students and staff. A parent or guardian must give consent for their student to get tested on the Parent Power School portal if they are going to participate in pool testing. All students and staff are strongly encouraged to participate, and pool testing is required for all AHS athletes and all cast members in the drama production. Testing will take place Monday through Wednesday at the nursing clinic, which is located on the first floor of Downs House across from the main office. Also, just a reminder that free breakfast and lunch is available to all AHS students. Breakfast begins at 8 a.m. in the cafeteria, and you can get lunch anytime during your lunch block. If you have any questions or concerns regarding this, please email schoollunch@arlington.k12.ma.us. In other news, there will be a mandatory club meeting on September 21st in Old Hall during X Block. All clubs are required to send a student representative to go over paperwork, guidelines, and expectations. Also, this year's Club Day will be on October 13th, so be sure to keep your eye out for more information regarding that. I'm Jasper Zellmer, and that's all for this week's Ponderscope.
The football season kicks off on Friday, September 17th for the Arlington High Spy Ponders. Senior news producer and sports producer Aneem Osmani spoke with the head coach and a few captains to hear about their hopeful prospects for the upcoming season.
I think we're looking good. I think we're looking strong. I'm expecting big things from this team this year. I think we have the heart, I think we have the courage, I think we have the strength, and I think we have what it takes to become a really, really, really good team.
We had a training camp. That was just every day. We're conditioning, we're running. Got us in perfect shape, I'm not gonna lie. So we had to do what we had to do to get in shape.
Give me that, baby! Yes, sir! Yes, sir!
So we haven't won a league game in the past 2 full seasons. So just playing a league schedule, not being able to get outside the league, I think was a little tough for us last year. But that being said, we never quit. We never gave up on any games. We weren't able to win any. We had some close ones, but I felt like a lot of times we were the tougher team, just maybe not the team that executed better. So my style is a lack of style. I believe in, I don't believe in systems. I believe in each group. We can't recruit here. This isn't college. This isn't some different programs in the state that might be able to pull in some kids that fit certain roles. So you might love running the ball one year, but then the next year you have a quarterback that can throw it all over the place. So we are a spread system. From year to year, we will be heavier on the run, heavier on the pass. We'll mix things in. We go under center this year because it suits this team's roster, whereas last year we couldn't really go under center and we didn't. So it's a spread-based system, but it can be run heavy or it could be pass heavy. Defense, we have some kids that we really want to showcase this year. So last year we were more of a 4-4. This year we're probably looking to be more 4-3. And then we have kind of some hybrid defenses that we run as well. For us, everybody's a big opponent because we haven't won a league game in 2 full seasons. It's been a long time. We're not looking past anybody in the league. Every week is an opportunity to prove ourselves, and we just hope we can.
I hope we win a good amount of games. I hope we go past November into December, see where the hard work takes us.
We're excited about this year. We're excited for year 2. We're hoping to go from no wins to making a playoff push, but most importantly, we want to make sure that our kids are learning the right culture and using football for what I think it is, which is one of the best teaching tools that any sport offers. I think if you can make it through 4 years of football, you can make it through anything in life. That's really what I want these kids to take out of it at the end. So hopefully we can do that as a staff, and hopefully the kids buy in.
And once again, that was Aneem Osmani with the story. For more high school sports content, please visit the ACMi Sports YouTube page and follow their social media at ACMi Sports. We'd also like to let you know that you can be part of the sports team too. ACMi Sports is looking for students, parents, or community member volunteers. If you're interested in joining, email sports@acmi.tv.
Nearly 2 years ago, the Regent Theater was going to stage legendary music from Jesus Christ Superstar featuring its principal players, Ted Neely and Yvonne Elliman. Both went on to superstardom with this play and had their share of solo hits ever since the late 60s. But then in April 2020, COVID had taken its toll, and the Regent ultimately had to stop the music. Neely and Elliman are in Arlington this week, playing at the Regent Theater show called, aptly enough, Superstars in Concert, September 17th and 18th, with a screening of the movie Jesus Christ Superstar, September 19th. ACMi News Director Jeff Barnes spoke with Regent Theater co-owner and manager Leland Stein, and the star of this show, Ted Neely. Both say after 18 months of waiting, the prayers have finally been answered.
I think it was Easter, like early April of 2020, postponed several times, and it's really great, and it's a very positive thing that we're actually doing this, because there was a time when we were wondering whether we could ever really get it done, because there's so much involved with producing and presenting these particular concerts.
When we did the first Broadway show, 1971, it was the world premiere of the Superstars of the show. We didn't know anybody would come. From that day forward, it's been fans all over the world. I just finished, before the pandemic chased us out in Italy. I was in Europe for 5.5 years doing this. It was supposed to be a 6-week run, 5.5 years. Pandemic hit. We'd be there right now if it hadn't hit us, you see. So, there's never been one performance that wasn't completely packed. No matter what, in Europe, we're playing 10,000-seat arenas.
We are adhering to the Arlington Board of Health's mandate, the mask mandate for indoor public venues, or as in the case of us, an indoor private space that welcomes the public. So masks are required at all times unless people are in the act actively eating or drinking.
It is such a reward. I'm telling you, Yvonne and I are having such a great time just rehearsing here. It's just, we actually see people. We're not doing digital things. We've been rehearsing on the phone. She's from Hawaii, I'm from Los Angeles, and then here. So that's how we rehearsed until this Tuesday. We first met the band here, on Tuesday, you see. So people.
Stein says it's nice to see things ever so slowly get back to normal. Meanwhile, Ted Neely has played Jesus on stage more than 5,500 times and plans to keep going later this fall on stage in Italy.
It has been so long since a show like this has occurred in Arlington. Maybe the rocks and stones themselves will start to sing. There's a small lyrical reference, ever so tiny.
Should I bring them down? Should I scream and shout? An even smaller lyrical reference.
There are just so many good songs in that play. Well, that'll do it for us. Thanks for joining us here at ACMi News. I'm James Milan.
And I'm Katie Chang. We'll see you later.
You can always check out our latest segments and newscasts on the web at acmi.tv/news. And don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ACMi News. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. You'll find us at youtube.com/ACMi News. If you have any news tips for us or wish to become a citizen journalist, we'd love to hear from you. Email us at news@acmi.tv or stop by ACMI Studio A at 85 Park Avenue.